In this video, I'm going to show you something that almost no one talks about: the hidden connection between common prescription drugs and memory loss. Yes, you heard that right. Certain medications, which millions of people take every day for sleep, allergies, anxiety, or even high blood pressure, can quietly damage your brain and trigger symptoms that look exactly like dementia or early Alzheimer's disease. And if you've been feeling brain fog, forgetfulness, or short-term memory lapses lately, you'll want to pay very close attention until the end. Because by the time you finish watching this, you'll not only understand which drugs to watch out for, but also what you can do to protect and even restore your memory naturally. If this is your first time here, welcome to our channel where we explore powerful, science-based ways to keep your mind sharp, your brain young, and your memory strong, no matter your age. So make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos on how to reverse brain fog, prevent dementia, and reclaim the mental clarity you had at 20. Now, let's start with a simple but scary truth. According to the Alzheimer's Association, nearly 6 million Americans live with Alzheimer's disease, and experts predict that number will double in the next 20 years. But here's what's rarely mentioned. Many people who experience early signs of dementia, short-term memory loss, or brain fog aren't suffering from a permanent disease. They're suffering from the side effects of common medications that literally interfere with how brain cells communicate. Let me explain. Your brain relies on chemical messengers called neurotransmitters to form, store, and retrieve memories. One of the most important of these messengers is acetylcholine. It acts like the spark that allows your neurons to talk to each other. Without enough of it, your brain starts to lose connections, and your short-term memory begins to fade. The problem? Many everyday drugs block acetylcholine. These are known as anticholinergic drugs, and they're everywhere. From antihistamines like diphenhydramine, the main ingredient in Benadryl and many sleep aids, to certain antidepressants, bladder medications, and even muscle relaxants. A major study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that long-term use of these drugs was linked to a 54% higher risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Even at low doses, when used for several months, they were associated with brain fog symptoms like confusion, fuzzy thinking, and short-term memory loss. Think about that. You might be taking something as simple as an over-the-counter allergy pill at night to help you sleep, but in the long run, it could be contributing to the very symptoms you're trying to fight: fatigue, forgetfulness, mental fog. That's why recognizing these culprits early is crucial if you want to protect your brain health and prevent memory loss diseases before they progress. Now, let's go deeper. Have you ever felt that strange sensation of walking into a room and forgetting why you went there? Or losing your keys, your phone, or even someone's name seconds after hearing it? Most people laugh it off as just getting older, but it's not normal aging, it's a warning sign. Your brain is trying to tell you something. These short-term memory lapses might be early signs of drug-induced brain fog. Let's take sleeping pills as an example. Medications like Zolpidem or other sedative hypnotics are designed to knock you out fast, but they also suppress brain activity during REM sleep, the stage where memories are consolidated. Without enough REM sleep, your brain doesn't have the chance to organize and store new information. Over time, that can lead to a type of amnesia called anterograde amnesia, where forming new memories becomes difficult. And it's not just prescription drugs. Some popular over-the-counter cold medicines contain decongestants that constrict blood vessels, reducing oxygen flow to the brain. When your brain doesn't get enough oxygen, it slows down communication between neurons, leading to brain fog, confusion, and that heavy, foggy head feeling many people describe. If this is starting to sound familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. Many people have unknowingly fallen into this trap, but the good news is that once you identify the cause, you can often reverse the damage. Later in this video, I'll reveal the safest ways to detox your brain from these harmful effects and regain that sharp mental clarity you had years ago. And I'll also share a link below to a short video that explains how thousands of people are using a simple 7-second ritual from home to recover their memory and eliminate brain fog once and for all. Now, before we continue, let me ask you this. Have you or someone you love been diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment, dementia, or Alzheimer's disease? But the symptoms seem to appear or worsen after starting a new medication? If yes, it might not be the disease itself, but a reaction to the drugs. In the next part, we'll uncover the top categories of drugs that silently drain your brain power, from antidepressants to antihypertensives, and what you can do to protect yourself starting today. But before we move on, drop a comment below if you've ever experienced brain fog or forgetfulness after taking medication. Your story could help someone else recognize what's happening to them too. And remember, I'll leave a link here below in the description and in the first pinned comment for the video that reveals how to recover your memory as if you were 20 again with a 7-second home ritual that's transforming lives across the world. Now, let's go straight into the first group of drugs that have been scientifically linked to memory loss and cognitive decline. Antidepressants, especially those in the tricyclic and SSRI categories. Millions of people around the world use antidepressants to manage anxiety, depression, or sleep problems. But few realize that some of these medications can interfere with neurotransmitters essential for memory and concentration. Certain antidepressants, like amitriptyline and paroxetine, block acetylcholine, which, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the most critical brain chemicals for learning and memory formation. Over time, this chemical blockade can cause the same brain fog symptoms people associate with early signs of dementia, confusion, short-term memory loss, mental fatigue, and even disorientation. Imagine this. You start taking an antidepressant to improve your mood, but months later, you can't remember simple things, like where you put your car keys or what you were about to say in a conversation. Most people assume the memory problems come from depression itself, but in many cases, they come from the treatment. Now, I want to make something clear. Never stop taking your medication abruptly without medical supervision. The goal of this video is to help you become aware of how these drugs affect your brain so you can have a meaningful conversation with your doctor about safer alternatives or dosage adjustments. The second group you must be careful with includes sleeping pills and anti-anxiety drugs such as benzodiazepines, lorazepam, diazepam, alprazolam, and clonazepam. These drugs are powerful sedatives that slow down brain activity. They can help you sleep or calm your mind for a short period, but prolonged use can make it harder for your brain to create new memories. Several studies show that long-term use of benzodiazepines is linked to a significantly higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia, including vascular dementia and frontotemporal dementia. People often report that after taking them for months or years, they begin to feel mentally slower, experience fuzzy brain symptoms, or even forget simple daily routines. To illustrate, one woman in her 60s was prescribed lorazepam for chronic anxiety. Within a year, she started forgetting appointments, misplacing objects, and repeating questions. Her family feared she had early Alzheimer's disease. But when her doctor helped her taper off the medication, her mental clarity gradually returned. It wasn't Alzheimer's, it was drug-induced memory loss. Now let's talk about another common category, antihistamines, especially first-generation ones like diphenhydramine, chlorpheniramine, and doxylamine. The same ingredients found in many allergy pills and over-the-counter sleep aids. They can make you drowsy, yes, but they also block the same neurotransmitter that's vital for memory. If you're constantly battling brain fog from lack of sleep and reaching for these pills to get rest, you might be making the situation worse. Instead of waking up refreshed, you wake up groggy, mentally cloudy, and unable to focus, a state known as sleep inertia, which mimics early dementia symptoms. Here's a quick practical tip. If you need an allergy medication, talk to your doctor about second-generation antihistamines like loratadine or cetirizine. They work without crossing the blood-brain barrier as strongly, so they're less likely to cause cognitive side effects. Now, the fourth group to be cautious with is anticholinergic bladder control drugs, often used for urinary urgency or incontinence, especially among older adults. These include medications like oxybutynin and tolterodine. They're very effective at calming an overactive bladder, but at a cost. They block the same brain receptors that are already under attack in Alzheimer's patients. Researchers from the University of Washington found that older adults using these drugs for more than 3 years had a 46% higher chance of developing dementia compared to those who didn't. Even short-term use has been linked to mild cognitive impairment. So, if you've been using one of these medications and have noticed more forgetfulness, short-term memory lapses, or brain fog, it might not be aging, it might be the medication. Now let's address something many people don't expect. Antihypertensive medications. Some beta blockers used to lower blood pressure can slow down the brain by reducing blood flow and oxygen to brain tissue. While controlling hypertension is critical for preventing vascular dementia and stroke, certain older beta blockers have been linked to brain fog and fatigue. If you're taking medications for blood pressure and notice more mental fog, it's important to discuss with your doctor whether a different type of medication could protect both your heart and your mind. By the way, if you're wondering how to clear brain fog instantly or at least start reversing these effects, I'll leave a video below that explains a simple 7-second ritual you can do from home. Thousands of people have reported feeling their mind wake up again, with sharper focus, stronger recall, and even improvements in sleep quality. You'll find it right here in the description and in the first pinned comment. Now, before we go to the next category, let's make this interactive. If you've noticed your memory changing after starting a new medication, share your experience below in the comments. You might help someone else recognize the early signs of drug-related memory loss before it's too late. All right, moving forward. Another surprising group includes painkillers, especially opioids. Drugs like oxycodone, hydrocodone, or codeine, when used long-term, don't just dull physical pain, they dull the brain itself. These medications reduce the activity of neurotransmitters like dopamine and glutamate, which are essential for alertness, learning, and forming new memories. In fact, chronic opioid users often experience what's called global amnesia, where both short-term and long-term recall become impaired. They might remember events from years ago, but can't recall what they ate for breakfast or where they left their wallet. This happens because opioids suppress the hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. If you've been taking strong painkillers for a while, it's essential to be aware of this effect. There are natural alternatives for pain relief that don't harm your memory, like curcumin, omega-3 fatty acids, or even light aerobic exercise that boosts oxygen flow and brain cell regeneration. And once again, remember, I'll leave a link below to a short video that walks you through a simple 7-second home ritual to help restore your memory and mental clarity as if you were 20 again. It's worth checking out. Up next, in the next part of this video, we're going to talk about the final category of drugs that silently destroy memory, and I'll show you what you can do right now to protect your brain, detox these chemicals naturally, and rebuild strong neural connections. Now let's talk about one of the most underestimated yet dangerous categories of all, statins and cholesterol-lowering drugs. These medications are prescribed to millions of people to reduce the risk of heart attack or stroke. But here's the shocking truth. Your brain is made up of nearly 60% fat, and a large part of that fat is cholesterol. Cholesterol is not your enemy. It's actually essential for building cell membranes and producing neurotransmitters. When you artificially reduce cholesterol too much, especially with long-term statin use, your brain literally loses the raw material it needs to create new neural connections. Several studies have shown that patients taking statins for years reported short-term memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and even sudden episodes of amnesia. This isn't permanent for everyone, but it's a warning sign that the brain is being deprived of something fundamental. Think about it. Your brain depends on cholesterol to function properly, and if it's starved of it, communication between neurons slows down. That's when people start to experience foggy head symptoms, confusion, and early signs of senility that mimic dementia or Alzheimer's disease. There's even a specific condition called transient global amnesia, a temporary but frightening state where a person suddenly forgets who they are or what they were doing for several hours. It's rare, but it's been linked to certain medications that affect cholesterol metabolism and blood flow to the brain. Now, I'm not saying to stop taking your medication, but it's vital to discuss with your doctor whether your dosage is too high or whether other options might be safer for your brain. Your goal should be balance, protecting your heart without starving your mind. All right, now that we've uncovered the main categories of drugs that can contribute to memory loss: antidepressants, sedatives, antihistamines, bladder medications, beta blockers, painkillers, and statins, it's time to focus on how you can start protecting and even repairing your brain. First, hydration and oxygenation are key. The brain is 75% water, and dehydration is one of the fastest ways to trigger mental fog. If you're constantly tired, forgetful, or struggling to focus, try drinking more water throughout the day before assuming it's something worse. Second, get moving. Aerobic exercise increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain, which helps regenerate brain cells and improve communication between neurons. Studies show that just 20 minutes of brisk walking a day can increase hippocampal volume, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. Third, feed your brain the right nutrients. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like salmon, sardines, walnuts, and chia seeds, can help rebuild the fatty membranes that drugs often damage. Add antioxidants from blueberries, spinach, and turmeric to fight inflammation and oxidative stress, two of the main causes of memory decline. And here's something fascinating. Scientists are now discovering that the brain can produce new neurons even in old age through a process called neurogenesis. But for this to happen, your brain needs the right environment, proper sleep, mental stimulation, and reduced exposure to neurotoxic drugs. Now, let's address sleep, because this is where most people sabotage their brain without realizing it. Lack of sleep is one of the top causes of brain fog and short-term memory loss. During deep sleep, the brain removes waste products through what's called the glymphatic system. If you're constantly sleeping less than 7 hours a night, toxins accumulate and your brain cells lose efficiency. It's like trying to use a phone that hasn't been cleared of old apps. It starts to lag. If you have trouble sleeping, try natural methods first. Magnesium glycinate before bed, reducing screen time, and practicing deep breathing exercises. These can help regulate your nervous system without the side effects of sedatives or antihistamines. Here's another powerful tip: mental exercise. Just like your muscles, your brain needs stimulation to stay strong. Activities like learning a new language, solving puzzles, or even playing a musical instrument increase brain connectivity and can offset the effects of medications that cause foggy mind symptoms. At this point, you might be wondering, okay, but can the brain really recover from all this damage? The answer is yes. The brain has an incredible ability to heal and rewire itself, a concept called neuroplasticity, but you have to give it the right signals. That means avoiding toxic substances, nourishing your body with proper nutrients, and stimulating the mind with positive habits. In fact, thousands of people who once struggled with brain fog and short-term memory lapses have regained their focus and clarity using simple lifestyle changes. And, as I mentioned earlier, a short 7-second home ritual that's been helping people restore the same sharpness they had at 20. You'll find that video linked right below this one in the description and the first pinned comment. Now, before we move to the conclusion, take a second to think about how many people around you might be unknowingly harming their brain health with these medications. Maybe a parent, a friend, or even you. Share this video with them. It could literally save someone from years of confusion, brain fog, and unnecessary fear of dementia. And since you're already taking the time to learn how to improve your memory, drop a quick comment below. Have you ever felt mentally slower or foggy after taking a medication? Let's build a community of awareness, because this topic is rarely discussed, yet it affects millions. In the next and final part, I'll help you visualize what your life could look like once your brain is free from fog, when you wake up clear, confident, and sharp again. We'll also wrap up with the key takeaways and the most important next step you can take right now to start your memory recovery journey today. And remember, I'll leave the link below for that 7-second home ritual video that's helping people reverse memory loss naturally. Watch it right after this video. Let's take a moment to recap everything we covered in this video, because awareness is the first step to change. We started by uncovering a shocking truth that many common medications, antidepressants, sleeping pills, antihistamines, bladder control drugs, beta blockers, painkillers, and statins can slowly and silently erode your memory. These drugs disrupt neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, reduce oxygen and blood flow to your brain, and even block the natural signals your neurons use to store and retrieve information. We also learned that symptoms like brain fog, short-term memory loss, confusion, and mental fatigue don't always mean you're developing dementia or Alzheimer's disease. Sometimes they're your brain's way of crying out for help, a warning that something you're taking daily might be interfering with its natural chemistry. The good news? The brain is not static. It's a living, regenerating organ capable of incredible recovery. By staying hydrated, eating brain-nourishing foods, exercising, sleeping deeply, and staying mentally active, you can start to reverse the effects of brain fog and memory loss. And most importantly, by talking to your doctor about your current medications, you can find safer options that protect your brain instead of harming it. Now let's step back for a second and imagine your future. The version of you who took these lessons seriously. You wake up in the morning without that heavy fog over your mind. You remember what you wanted to do, what you said yesterday, and where you placed your things. Your focus is sharp, your thoughts are clear. You start conversations without forgetting what you were talking about. You walk into a room and instantly remember why you're there. You meet old friends and recall every story and every name without hesitation. You feel more confident, more present, more alive. That's what life can look like when your brain finally gets what it needs: oxygen, nutrients, rest, and freedom from chemical interference. This isn't just about preventing Alzheimer's disease or dementia. It's about taking back control of your mind, your personality, your memories, the very things that make you who you are. Because the truth is, losing memory isn't just about forgetting. It's about slowly losing pieces of yourself. And today, you've taken the first step to stop that from happening. Now, before we finish, I want to remind you that your journey to full mental clarity doesn't have to stop here. If you've been feeling that foggy, tired sensation, that lack of memory or focus that makes you feel older than you are, there's something simple you can do about it. I've left a link right below this video in the description and in the first pinned comment to another video that explains how thousands of people are recovering their memory and mental sharpness with a simple 7-second ritual they can do from home. It's helping people clear brain fog instantly and restore the kind of focus they had when they were 20. I recommend watching it right after this video. It might be the missing piece you've been searching for. And if this video helped you understand what's really happening inside your brain, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It helps more people find this information. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our weekly videos about brain health, memory loss, dementia prevention, and mental clarity. Also, I'd love to hear from you. Has any of this information surprised you? Have you or someone you know experienced memory loss after taking any of these medications? Let me know in the comments below. Your story could be the light that helps someone else find their way out of the fog. Remember, the human brain is one of the most powerful healing machines on Earth. No matter your age, you can still protect it, train it, and awaken it. You just need to give it the right tools and remove what's holding it back. So, take charge today. Reclaim your memory. Reclaim your mind. And I'll see you in the next video, or right now if you click the one linked below, where I'll show you step by step how to bring your memory back to life and feel like your 20-year-old self again with that simple 7-second home ritual.